I never did answer that, did I?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought maybe we could just slip, right past that. See, but you sharp. You came back with it.
Did you get along with Andre? Or?
I did. I really did. And that's what I was saying. I just got along with everybody just about. But Andre had his issues and he had his ways. And he could be very dogmatic and very demanding and very rude even. I never met probably a more ruder man. But if he liked you, he was very easygoing with you, and he was that way with me.
Did Mr. Fuji ever try to rib you at all?
Oh man, you talking about the ultimate river?
Right.
Yes, and I hope that he sees this tape because I don't have the guts to tell him off to his face. So I'll tell him right now, he's just disgusting with the type of ribs he play all disgusting type of ribs. Like you could be reading the newspaper, you minding your own business. Next thing you know, newspaper's on fire.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. That stuff that's food.
He was telling us that I did an interview with him, and he cooked some of the guys' dog food and stuff like that.
And this was before our generation, because Fuji's up there with Father Time. But I've heard stories that he did.
Right.
Now, they ain't that horrible, though. That's what I'm saying. That's disgusting type of stuff he does. That, it make you want to hurt him.
Memories of Survivor Series '88, when I think all the managers were at ringside. How competitive was that to get your heat in?
I don't think it was competitive at all because everybody who's around there. One thing you can't do, you can't last long being a manager without having some skill. Because for what it is that you are there to do, the spotlight's on you. And it's like a football team. You have 11 guys out there on the field. One of those guys can miss an assignment and you not be able to pick up who it was. But as a manager, you're pretty much on spotlight. You're on the stage by yourself. So if you mess up, then there you go.
What are your memories of when Tully and Arn came over to the company from Crockett? Was that a big deal?
I think it was because of the persona and the intrigue, with the Four Horsemen thing that they were able to do so much with it. So I think it was. Yeah.
All right. Did you get along with Tully at all?
Yes. Yeah. He's a born again Christian and minister, preacher. And we had that to talk about too. So.
What are your memories of working with Randy Savage, and what was he like to work with?
Randy Savage. Randy Savage was over real big, real good, and he was a professional. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to do it, and we were professionals, and so it was a good mix.
Any memories of the stories of like Randy locking Elizabeth in the closets and stuff like that, being really overprotective of her, like in Poughkeepsie, New
Okay,
York?
well, I know he was protective of her. Now to say that he was overprotective, that's a matter of opinion. That depends on the individual. Now he went to extremes sometimes, and if we want to say that means he was overprotective, that has to depend on one's interpretation. But I will say this: he was overprotective of her, but I don't know, when you bring a family member, your wife or whatever, around just a whole bunch of men, it probably makes sense to just to keep something happening, getting started, and nip it in the bud.
What happened the night Butch Reed was supposed to get the Intercontinental belt, and then they didn't give it to him?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was one of those wardrobe malfunction things that really led up to that. Believe it or not, he had a problem with the letters on his vest. And something was said about that. And next thing I know, we were going a different direction.
Were you there during the entire like Ring Boy scandal and stuff like that?
Would you repeat the question?
Were you there when the entire Ring Boy scandal happened with Pat Patterson and all that stuff broke out?
No, I wasn't there yet. Enlighten me, man. What happened?
It was with Pat Patterson and one of the Ring Boys.
The Ring crew. And like there was all...
It was a sex scandal basically, and the company was under scrutiny.
Whoa! You know what? I didn't hear about that. Now we got to change seats. You just sit here and talk to me and tell me what I want. You know,
That's when Pat resigned for a little bit.
I mean, you know, I might not want to do a lot of gossiping, but I can listen to it a little.
How crazy was the drug scene back then? Because, you know, a lot of the guys that we did interviews with said the travel was crazy, and that we did one with Piper, and Piper was talking about doing uppers and downers, and just crazy because of the plane cross country everywhere.
I stayed away from that. I think if you check, you ask anybody, you know, my record is clean. And you know, and I think I mentioned this to you earlier. I never traveled with anybody.
Right.
I stayed to myself, because I couldn't take a chance on riding with a guy and he's got some extra
extracurricular activity going on.
Yeah. I didn't know whether I wanted to say extracurricular activity, but some strange substance. You know, and so I tell you what, I won't call any names, but I actually saw this happen where at the United States Customs somebody put some drugs in somebody else's bag.
Just as a rib?
Well, it wasn't
Set him
a
up.
rib. No, they wasn't. They didn't. Well, I don't think he caught himself setting him up. He just didn't want to get caught with them.
Uh-huh.
You know, and he thought he was gonna, I don't know what he thought. I really don't know. But I've seen that happen. Yeah.
Were you there tonight, Kevin Kelly, who was Nails, attacked Vince?
Yeah, I was. Green Bay, Wisconsin.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the reaction from you and some of the other boys?
Stunned. Because, you know, you making good money, and you may not make a payoff. You may not make on that payoff what you think you should have made, but no need to cut off your nose to spite your face either. Not the way I do. I just ride on the coattail. If you're making all the money and drawing all the houses, I don't have to put my name up there. Just put me on that house.
Right. Were you ribbed by any of the boys for the gimmick?
You know, all the boys were afraid of me. They knew better. They heard about taking no stuff. No, yeah. You know, we were real, man. I wouldn't even dare tell you some of the words, some things they said, you know, about a game. One guy in particular, and I'm afraid of this guy. I tell you right off the bat, you know, I'm shooting with you straight up. I'm afraid of him, so I won't call his name. But he used to walk around the dressing room all the time and say the new N word. That's what when the gang went to the King thing, he would say, "Everybody, here he comes, the new N word." You know, so I didn't care too much for that.
How much of a shoot was the gimmick with the Reverend?
Well, you know, I am a reverend.
Right.
That's what I do now, so 100% shoot.
What do you think of the influence of church in WWE today by like Shawn Michaels and Ted DiBiase?
What do I think that them being in the ministry, what influence does it have on the federal?
On the product, and do you think they're sincere, or do you think they look at it as a way for themselves to promote themselves and make money? Or
Oh, I think they're sincere because they can make money doing what they do. You know?
what are your thoughts on Dynamite Kid?
Tough. He's a guy that likes to put a lot of ribs, and then he could beat you up if you didn't like it.
Were you there the night that him and Jacques Rougeau went at it?
I was, both times.
Right. What are your memories?
I don't have any memories of folks Anybody who can beat up somebody whenever they get ready, and you're a witness to it. You know, witnesses don't last long.
Right.
Right.
So I have no memory. I don't remember anything.
Did Vince ever?
Worst thing in the world to be is a witness.
Right.
Okay.
Did Vince ever want you to wrestle in any gimmick matches at all?
Never did.
No. Okay.
Although I did when Boss Man had this this severe ankle sprain, and I worked with Dusty Rhodes about 7 nights in a row.
How was that?
It was really good because they found out again I was versatile. I could do some of other things. Just didn't have the size.
Huh.
But I could probably outwork half the guys that's working there.
What are some of your
Do
memories?
I sound facetious or
No.
vain when I say that?
It's true because a lot of guys today can't work. It's just they got the look, but they
No
can't.
brag, just fact. Go ahead.